going to put a plug-and-play remote start system that activates from the OEM remotes. It's going to activate by locking the doors 3 times in succession. This system will require 2 OEM keys to complete programming. It'll also require that you have a flash link programmer as well. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with a disassembly. We're going to pull down on the dash, top here, and we're going to fold the dash down. We're going to take a 10 millimeter, we're going to remove the cover plate. Okay, there's a couple of plugs we're going to have to access. The diagnostic plug is located right here on the vehicle. There's a little module that sits on top of the diagnostic plug that's part of the diagnostic plug. It's a plug that plugs in the back. We can access this plug by reaching underneath, and we can press the clip, which is on the bottom, that locks the plug in, and pull out and remove the plug from the diagnostic connector. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the steering column cover plastic. We need a 5.5 millimeter. So we've got a 5.5 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the cover. Okay, with the screws out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull down right here, a little gap. We're going to pull down and the cover will unclip, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove it. With the cover removed and access to the diagnostic plug connector, we can begin the installation. Okay, there's going to be 2 plugs we're going to be dealing with under the steering column plastic. The main ignition plug and the immobilizer plug. Okay, this system uses an FORT-2 harness. It's not the same as the older FORT-1 harness, so it does require a FORT-2. We're going to unplug the main ignition plug, we're going to press the clip in on the side, and we're going to remove the main ignition plug. We're also going to press the clip on the immobilizer plug, and we're going to remove the immobilizer plug. Our T harness has an immobilizer plug end and a main ignition plug end. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the immobilizer. Support the immobilizer while you're locking the plug. And we're going to plug our immobilizer plug into our T-harness. Now we're going to do the main ignition plug. We're going to plug our main ignition plug in. Again, support the switch while you're plugging in these plugs. We don't want to break anything. Make sure the plug locks into place. Now we're going to plug our ignition plug into our T-harness. All the connections under the steering column cover plastic are done. We're going to move along to the diagnostic plug connections. System is going to require a can high and can low connection on the diagnostic plug. Our can high and can low wires are gray with an orange stripe and violet with an orange stripe. They're located at this diagnostic plug connector that we've unplugged. I'm going to give you a closer look when I'm done here. And you can consult your instructions to see pin numbers and exactly where these wires are located. We're gonna use posi-tap connectors to connect into this. Posi-tap connectors are a toolless, solderless connector. Make a really good connection. The first step is to unscrew the end of the posi-tap connector, and you'll have a groove here that's going to slip over the wire, and then we're going to put the top piece back on and screw the connector down onto the wire. This little barb will pierce the wire, and it will allow a connection into this wire that we're trying to connect into without stripping the insulation off or anything. And on the top there's a little collar. We're going to loosen the collar, slide our wires into this collar, and tighten it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply one of the taps. We're applying the tap to the gray wire with an orange stripe. And I'm going to give you a close-up when we're done here. So we've slipped the posi tap groove over the wire, and we're going to screw down the connector. Okay, we've got that down. We've screwed down pretty good, nice and tight. Now we're going to do the violet with an orange stripe. Now you can remove these connectors and reuse them. They won't hurt the wire. If you make a mistake, you can just undo them and put them on another wire. Okay, so we have our posi taps applied. We're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen the collar. Oh, loosen that one too much. We're going to go ahead and terminate our wires to these connectors. Okay, so we have our can high, can low wires. We have approximately a 1/4 inch stripped on the end. Can high is our solid wire, and that's going to go to the orange wire with the gray wire with an orange trace. We've got the collar loosened. We're going to push the wire into the tap, and we're going to tighten the collar. We're going to pull on the wire to make sure it locked in. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to repeat this for the can low, which is violet with orange. We're going to push it deep in there, and then we're going to turn and tighten it, and we're going to pull on it, and you can pull on these pretty good and they'll stay if applied correctly. Okay, now if we look at the diagram for the installation, we're only using the can high, can low, and plugging in the plugs. This is a basic install that'll do a standalone remote start and single button activation through an RF antenna kit. I'm not going to support the parking lights. They require 2 relays, and I think it would overcomplicate things for people, and they could wind up doing damage to the vehicle. There's also a wrap system provision on this, and the wrap is a retained accessory power. When you shut your vehicle off, the accessories don't turn off until you open the door. Well, eventually they'll time out without this connection. Again, I'm not going to support this either. If you want to make this connection in the driver's door harness, that's fine, but it is unnecessary. So we're doing the basic installation on this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to program the device. Okay, we're ready to begin programming our device. Before you program the device, make sure your diagnostic plug connection is plugged back into the diagnostic plug device here on the vehicle. We want to remove all the plugs from the Evo before we begin. And we also want to have both of our OEM keys available. Okay, we're going to hold the program button while we insert the 4-pin plug. We're going to let the light cycle till we have a red and a blue. I'm going to release the button on red and blue. I'm going to plug the remaining connectors into the vehicle, into the module. Point we're ready to begin programming. We have both of our OEM keys ready on the seat here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to press the program button 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Waiting for the blue and the red light to go solid. We're going to put our first key in, turn the ignition to the run position. We're going to wait 3 seconds. We're going to remove the key, put the second key in, turn it to the run position. We're going to wait 3 seconds, and we're going to remove the second key. The module is going to start the programming procedure. And we're ready to go ahead and bring this module over to the FlashLink Manager and complete the programming. Okay, we're back at the computer and we have our FlashLink Manager running. We have the device connected to the programmer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click the decryptor tab. We have an error message because we previously tried to program this module. and we were unsuccessful. So we've selected decryptor. We've selected to automatically update the EVO all when the device is ready. We're given an ETA of 2 minutes and 7 seconds for this process to complete. Okay, we've successfully completed. The immobilizer bypass key code is now being sent to the unit. Please wait. Now it appears that when we're programming it, timing is very important. We tried 2 previous attempts and we were unsuccessful. I think there was too much of a pause between key 1 and key 2 going on, and that's why we were unsuccessful. Now when the programming is complete, we'll take the device back and plug it into the vehicle, and our remote starter job will be finished. Our update is successful. Okay, we're back in our vehicle. We're going to plug our device back in without holding any buttons down. We're going to start with the data plug. Then we're going to plug the 20-pin plug in. And we're going to plug in the red plug. And we're going to plug in the white plug. At this point, we should be able to start the vehicle with our OEM remote. And we have our vehicle started and running. You can also shut the vehicle off. Okay, the next step, we're going to add a long-range antenna kit. It's optional if you're only looking to activate from the OEM remote. At this point, your installation is complete. So we'll move along to programming a REVO antenna kit. Okay, we've ran our antenna up to the top of the windshield by the rear view mirror, and at the end of the cable we have 2 ends, one with a clip, one without a clip. We have what's called a coupler. We're going to plug the coupler into the end with a clip, and we're going to make sure it locks. Now we're going to take our device, and there'll be a pigtail banded to the device, and it will have a black end with a clip on it as well. We're going to plug that into the other side of the coupler and make sure it locks. We're now ready to begin programming the antenna kit. We're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the 4-pin plug. We're going to hold the program button down on our device, plug in the 4-pin. Again, we're going to release on blue and red. We have a solid blue and red. We've released the button. Now we're going to press the button down, hold it down. The blue and red will go out. We're going to release when it comes back on. At this point, we're ready to go ahead and program our remotes. We're programming 2 single-button Crimestopper remotes from our REVO antenna kit. It's a long-range upgrade that we sell for these standalone systems. So the remotes look like this, and we're going to need to have both of them here available. We're going to place the key in the ignition. We're going to turn the ignition to the run position. When we do that, the yellow light's going to illuminate, and then we're going to press a button on each remote. When we press the buttons, the 2 outside lights will blink, acknowledging the EVO has learned these remotes. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to put the key in, turn it to the run position. We're going to take our first remote and press the button. The 2 outside lights blinked, indicating it's received or learned the remotes. And now we're going to do the second one. Again, the 2 lights blinked. Now we're going to shut the key off and remove it from the ignition. At this point, we can control our system remote starting with our long range remotes also. Okay, we have a successful start. We can go ahead and we can turn it off with our long range remotes. And remember, we haven't lost the ability to 3-press activate this remote starter. Okay, we're outside of our vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and activate the remote starter. Now I have the lamps just on auto, the lights. We've made no connections to the parking lights whatsoever. I can shut the vehicle down. Okay, and our auto lamp delay would have to expire here, and then the lights will turn off. So we can wait for that to happen. Now we also have our long range remotes that can control the vehicle also. And we can shut it off also.